That's a lot of things. Leap of pays for it, so I go.
Exactly.
All right, here we go. Showtime. I'm gonna call our meeting in order. If everybody will stand, we're gonna say the pledge of allegiance, and then I'm gonna ask Alderman Betts if he will lead the word of prayer. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Our Father in heaven, we are grateful for the day that you have given to us. Grateful for your love to us and your protection in it. Thank you for allowing us to live in this country and to enjoy the freedoms that we enjoy. Pray, Lord, that we never take them for granted. Ask you, Lord, now as we take up the business of our town, we pray, Lord, that you help us to make wise decisions. For we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming tonight. And, I think it's going to be a good meeting, and I'm looking forward to it. But before we get started, I'm going to see if our clerk, city town clerk, will do the roll call.
Town of Vidalia Board of Aldermen roll call for the regular meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen dated February 13th, 2024. Alderman Betts.
Present.
Alderwoman Denby.
Present.
Alderman Gardner. Alderman Probst.
Here.
Alderman Smith.
Here.
Mayor, let the record show that a quorum of the board is present and accounted for.
All right. First thing we got to do before we move on getting into our agenda is approve the minutes from the previous meeting. If y'all had a chance to review that, if there's not any additions or deletions, I'll entertain a motion to accept these minutes.
I move that.
Motion made by Alderwoman Denby. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Now, we come to the part, and this is a requirement by the Open Meetings and Act, and that we have a time of public comment before our meetings from current agenda items. Anybody have a comment or topic, question on the agenda, this is the time to say something or say a short piece about it if you want to. I'll be honest, when we get into the meeting, especially the hydro meetings today, we will have discussion if you would like to, participate. But I'll discuss that stuff later. So right now, is there any public comments on any agenda item that's on here that somebody like to say something toward? If not, okay, we're going to jump right into our first item on our agenda is presentation of financial statements for December 2023 from Deborah Moak, our CPA and municipal accountant.
Tonight's financial statements include the balance sheet as of December 31st, 2023, the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balances for the 6 months ending December 31st, 2023. These financial statements have been distributed to all departments and aldermen for their review. In summary, the town has combined cash in the bank of $4.8 million, including restricted funds of $3 million in the hydro and $600,000 in the sales tax fund. Investments are $19 million, which includes the hydro fund of $16.8 million, $1.6 million in the general fund, and $712,000 of ARPA funds. Total assets is $50 million. Total liabilities is $7.4 million for a fund balance of $42.6 million. The statement of revenues, expenses, and changes in fund balance for the 6 months ending December 31st indicates combined revenues of $15.4 million, total expenditures of $19 million, for a change in net position of a negative $3.7 million. The reason for the large negative net position is due to the $3 million rebate. Total revenue is at 27% of budget. Sales tax collections are continuing to increase over the same time as last year. At the end of January, sales tax collections were up by $243,000 over last year. Water levels on the Mississippi River is having an effect on the production, therefore having a negative impact on royalty income. Interest earned year-to-date at LAMP is $486,000 on a total investment of $18 million. Capital outlay is at 28% of budget. Personnel costs are at 51% of budget. Materials and supplies are at 46% of budget, and other services and charges are at 36% of budget. The net change in assets is $1.6 million lower than the same time last year. We have used $279,000 of ARPA funds to offset the power cost adjustment for the month of June, July, and August. Total amount used to date is $509,000, leaving a balance of $908,000 remaining undesignated. These funds must be obligated by December 31st, 2024, and expended by December 31st, 2026. We're in the process of working on getting ready to have meetings on our budget, and that will start probably in March.
Thank you, Deborah. Any questions from the council? Deborah, thank you for that. And as you heard her say, we're going to start talking about, preparing for next year's budget. And now we'd like to go ahead and get it prepared early. And, as she said, also the river, has been extremely low most of the year, which has had a real bad impact on the production of the hydroelectric plant. However, thank the Lord, a lot of people say, oh, Lord, the water's getting high. I'm going like, oh, boy, come on, because there's going to be our revenues for the town of Vidalia. So I'm excited about that. But no questions. Thank you, Deborah, for that. And we'll be talking about that more. But I would like to do this, and it's been a lot of good news going on with Cyber Technology. I'd like to recognize Peter Olger. Peter, raise your hand there. I know, did y'all, have y'all completed phase 2 construction now? Is it completed, or y'all in the twilight part of phase 2? So you produced your first batch last Thursday, and right now y'all are up to how many employees hired as actually permanent employees? All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. If y'all ever need anything from us, just please let us know. We would appreciate y'all being such a good partner here with us and going forward. So thank you very much. Okay, first thing next thing on our agenda is board discussion and vote on approval of occupational license. We have Miss Sloop Studio Creative LLC with the company and sign application. They're going to be located at 3046C Carter Street. It's going to be an art studio and office. And Miss Jenny Hinkle is here. If any, Jenny, would you like to tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing at your? Sure, come on. Hey, you're on Facebook Live. Here you go. Get through some advertising, girl. Come on.
Commercial.
Yeah.
I like being behind the scenes instead of front of the scenes, but Miss Sloop Studio Creative is just kind of a combination of my art career. I've had an art business for 19 years, done children's art and children's books and illustrations. And so I've always dreamed about having my own studio and a studio space, and just recently decided to take the leap. So I didn't name it Art by Jenny Hinkle, which is my art business. I decided to name it Studio Creative because I want it to be a very versatile studio for kids and adults. So the plan is to have art classes, private art classes for students. I actually just had my first private lesson today, and we hope to have a space where we can not only just do art, but cooking classes, small parties, events, and tech classes. We have a design company. So I just want it to be a very versatile studio space for people to come and do multiple types of creative art.
Okay. Hey, look, thank you for that. I know that we have a lot of talented people in the area, musicians, artists, and all kinds. And this will be an outlet for them, a place for them to come where they can, learn and learn different techniques and different things. And it is much needed in our area. And thank you for, investing
I'm
more
excited.
in our town. So thank you so much. So you have before you both the occupational and sign applications. Any questions on the sign while you're looking at it, or any other questions? Okay, here a motion to approve.
Approved.
Motion made by Alderman Probst. Here a second. Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you,
Great.
Jenny.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate it so
Appreciate it.
much. Okay, next thing we have is the am I saying it Lux? Is that the right pronunciation? Or? Okay. All right, so we have Lux Wellness and no, excuse me, we did the sign, so we did both, so we got that. Council, did you get that? We've approved the sign and the occupation.
Got it.
Okay. So we have Lux Wellness and Spa.
Mayor.
This is basically a sign.
Mayor, you have rolling in the dough before that.
Pardon?
You have rolling in the dough before that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I apologize. I was putting them all together because they are, on the co-owners of that. So next thing, first thing on, agenda item number 1, rolling in the dough sign application. Here, motion to approve.
I make a motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Denby. Here, a second.
Second.
Alderman Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing we have is Lux Wellness and Spa. It's in the old Unifed / Young Funeral Home building. That's their sign application. I think they got a temporary out there right now. This will be a permanent. I hear a motion to approve. Motion made by Alderman Probst. Here, a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next thing on our agenda is item number 4, board discussion and vote of approval of a liquor and beer permit renewal for our Family Dollar Store on 1919 Carter Street. Any questions? I'll entertain a motion to accept and renew this permit. Hear a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Smith. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Now, I have just, I'm gonna be, this is just a introduction or discussing with council. Several years ago, we had a rate study for the whole town to do. And what we want to do is revisit some of our utility rate ordinance that's dealing with our industrials, like Cyrus gonna be coming on. Their loads really jumping up, gonna be ramping up, and we want to make sure that we're being very competitive in the what we provide in the power and the rate because of their usage. It's going to be pretty substantial. So we're going to be looking at that, and I'm just letting the council know that we're going to be investigating and studying. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be working on some of that tomorrow and Thursday, talking with some of the staff at LEPA and working with us on getting them a very competitive rate on their power. But also, we're going to be looking at the solar power. Right now, we're probably out of compliance. I'm going to say that as far as with our solar ordinance. And we have, I think now 4 residents have solar panels. And we want to make sure we get that right. And so I'm going to be talking with you guys and bringing that pretty quick. And we'll be reaching out to you to draw up an ordinance that is followed by most other municipalities that have, solar users within their residential areas. Has anybody got any questions on that they'd like to ask? Okay. All right. That was just information only that I'm going to be looking toward bringing it to you guys. Number 6, this is something that I'd like to go ahead and talk about. Board discussion and vote on approval of designated projects to be funded by excess hydro revenues. Okay, ordinance 588 says that each year that the council will comprise a list of projects to have 2 public meetings and let the public people talk and discuss, what they would like to see, whether they like them or don't like them. And not only have they done that, but they've also let the public participate. And the public has offered up some projects, and the aldermen themselves have offered up projects. And here last week, we called each one of them in and let them personally say, hey, this is the ones I would like to see us do. And we pulled those together on a list, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'd like to ask the council, do y'all want to take each one at a time? I think we probably should take each thing one at a time. And just for example, the beautification has an ask of a certain amount of money, and there's several asks within that thing. And I think we can either approve it as a whole, or if they want to take some of the things in there and pick that out and approve some of those things as we go through. I don't think that would be a problem. Everybody's got some great ideas and projects to do for our town. And I mean, this is fun for me. I'm excited for us to see some improvements around town. And I think that it's going to be a nice process. We're going to jump right into that. So I don't have my list with me. Do y'all have me?
Didn't get one.
That's not one of my packet, and I didn't bring mine.
I didn't bring mine.
I might need to steal some ones.
I don't have mine with me.
I got love.
Well, in that in the discussion that we had with y'all, everybody, with you and Jay and everybody, are we gonna just discuss the ones we brought up?
Ones that each council member that came to the office and met with me or
Right.
Jay.
We're
and
not going
ones-
through every one of them, in other words, right?
Was ones that the council brought up.
Right. that's
But
what
there
I'm
were
saying.
some that didn't, that,
Right.
people just,
Right.
that none of the council wanted to do. And,
So did y'all compile a list?
yes, that's what I thought it was in my packet, but I'm sorry. I came out and I should have put it in mine, but Jay's gonna be bringing that. But if y'all want to, we'll go ahead and we'll come back to that. We're gonna go ahead and jump over to 7. We'll come back when Jay brings that list and we'll go down it. Item number 7, is it okay I don't need to take a motion or anything, do I, council, to jump? Okay. We're gonna go to, item number 7, board discussion and vote of approval of resolution authorizing the town of Vidalia to submit to USDOTD for consideration for funding a project that includes DA Big Lane Road. Ms. Loran's here to talk about that. You've got that in your packet there. And Loran, go ahead and tell them a little bit about it.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
As the mayor stated before, this is just a resolution to apply, and what it does, it lists the asking amount for the grant, which is about 4.9 million, close to $5 million, with a 10% match, which we will start looking into finding match funding. But it is for DA Big Lane Road, but the name of the project is the Vidalia Innovative Gateway Project. And as you see in your packet, the challenges that it addresses as far as transportation, unsafe conditions for all, poor connectivity, travel delays and accidents, impact of freight transportation on rural communities. Those are the bulleted points that are listed in the project description. Also addressing the challenges, the goals that will be listed in the grant application will be that the raised funds will ensure gateways and critical entry points with striped hard shoulders incorporated into DA Big Lane Road. It will also have a bike path that will be separated from the road itself. Also, where the small bridge is, there will be a pedestrian bridge so that residents who live on the road, if they want to walk in the evening or walk for any reason, they won't be in danger of walking. It'll be accessible and modified to accommodate freight for Syra, the grain elevator, but it'll also be resident friendly. The second goal is that it will act as a connector road or loop to end some of the congestion that comes up and down US 425 Carter Street. A lot of people who travel Highway 131, they won't take the alternate route through VA Big Lane Road. They come back to the highway and go around because it is in such poor condition. So I've been working with Wynn, who is here this evening, and we went and took another look. As you know, a while ago, we tried to get funding with this through other entities that has not panned out. So they had this monies available. The submission date is February 28th. So you can see in your packet, everything is completed except the highlighted section, which is the project budget, because we want to make sure that everything is listed in there. We never want to undershoot a grant. Make sure you have everything that you need when you apply beforehand. The only other sections would be the maps, tables, the figures, pictures, and images, and of course, the references that you always have to do. You have to do your research and you have to cite where you're getting your data from. So we are close to being finished. As we finish, I'm sure Mayor Kraft will have us come back. We're claiming that we're going to get that one as well. I've looked clearly at the merit criteria, which is also listed in here. Safety, quality of life, mobility and community connectivity, sustainability, economic competitiveness, state of good repair. And then the secondary criteria is the partnership and innovation. So we have gathered the data, looked at everything, and so we put it together proposal according to the guidelines, and prayerfully we will be awarded that. The award letters will be coming out at the end of May, 1st of June. So
Okay.
I'd appreciate it if you all would pass this resolution so we can go on and apply for
Okay.
this $5 million.
And we're, and apologies to the people that travel on DAB lane where they live there or pass there going or using it for whatever. We're trying everything we can. That this is another grant. We're seeking all the funding we can get to get this thing done. I made this is something I want to see done sooner than later, and we're going to work hard to get it done. I don't, we're going to get it done, but we want to make sure we fix it right. It's going to take, it's a road. The soil there is very, very suspect to be, it needs a lot of work. And we want to make sure whatever we put there is money well spent and it's going to last for a long time. So it's going to be it's too critical for us not to be able to get funding. That road is to our whole area. So thank you, Loran. Do I hear?
Loran, on that road, that's gonna put up, it's gonna end at the airport road.
Mhm.
Yes, at Airport Road, between Airport Road and Highway 131.
Okay.
So it'll include that section of the National Guard Road from the stop sign back over here.
That's next.
Colonel McClure, I can address that. Ours is only going up to Airport Road, which that is that. But I would like if we're going to get federal help, that they would include that all the way through down to our airport by National Guard Road, all the way there, because that whole section there needs to be straightened out.
Mhm.
And it could really, you would probably have to relocate some citizens that live somewhere right in there and straighten that out, Airport Road, and make it a straight shot through there. But it's such a critical road, and maybe even improve Airport Road. I'm going after everything, though.
And then,
Uh,
I'm sorry, Mayor.
Uh-huh.
In the grant, the way that the verbiage is written, it includes the entryways into the road.
Okay.
So it'll cover the area of National Guard Road, where it kind of intersects there. And that will be included in the entryway portion of it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Loran. Did I hear a motion to approve this resolution?
motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst. Here a second.
Second. Brent did it.
Brent.
Second.
Alderman Smith was a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Loran. Okay, we're going to back up. Sorry about that, that little snafu there. Okay, back like we was talking to the hydro, a lot of projects were listed. Some made the cut, some didn't. The aldermen were able, to select some of the, more worthy projects they felt like that we need to spend the money on right now. And one of the things we did, I think everybody was in agreement on it, was to pay off the municipal debt. We're talking about, I think it was $13 million that we took of that money, and we actually paid all the debt for the town. The town is completely unencumbered. The only monies we have owed right now is, the monies we're spending to finish the substation. And probably in a year or so, we'll probably be making requests to come back and have that paid off as well. There's no sense in having debt when you have money. And that's something we want to make sure that we manage going forward. Okay. The first thing on there, I think everybody is Polk Park. What we just are going to have to agree to is an amount, but I don't want to agree to an amount now. Is everybody okay with Polk Park? Y'all want to just do it? We can do a vote, but not, I would say let's hold off on the amount that we're going to put into Polk Park right now until we finish up what projects we're going to approve. But is everybody in agreement? And I'll take a motion to approve Polk Park, subject to coming up with a dollar amount at the end of this section.
Make a motion.
Alderman Probst made that motion. Here a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so Polk Park's on the list with undesignated amount. The next thing we had on the list that several of the aldermen wanted to continue on looking at was renovating the Council on Aging building. Y'all know that's where on the second floor, the Masonic Lodge has that second floor, but the building is owned by the town, and we certainly want to make sure that we renovate that because it is a city-owned building. It's a beautiful building, And we want to make sure that we have a nice place for our senior citizens to go and meet and take care of themselves and have activities, and a lot of things going on there. So, is any questions on that? I mean, several of the aldermen were requesting that. Everybody okay on that? Do I hear a motion we include a council on agent? Jay, what was the amount we had on that far as the
50,000.
50,000? Okay. All right. And just for information, we had approved a total of $3 million in projects this year, so. The next thing we had was, some of the aldermen did want,
We finished the motion.
pardon?
Finish the motion.
Oh, motion was made by,
Nobody, we didn't have to make.
oh, okay. Motion by Alderman Smith, there's a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. So 50,000. Now we go to, the next thing was safety nets for the recreation complex. This was, we estimated at 50,000. Several of the aldermen were in favor of that, and I guess we can vote on that now. Is that any comment? Anybody have a comment? Or,
I'm not for recreation nets.
yeah,
No, not for me.
okay. All right. Do I hear a motion for the nets?
I'll make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts for the nets. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Alderman Smith. It sounds like we do, let's just do a roll call. Is that okay? We want to do
Yeah,
a roll
that's
call?
fine. I mean, I just,
Let's do a roll call vote on that.
Motion made by Alderman Betts to approve hydro project for safety nets at the rec department baseball fields. Second by Alderman Smith.
you know, make
Alderman
any,
Betts,
Yes.
Alderwoman Denby,
Yes.
Alderman Gardner, Alderman Probst,
no,
Alderman Smith.
yes.
That motion passes.
I would like to say
Okay, go
my
ahead.
concerns, why?
Okay,
Because
go
I
ahead.
feel like
That's
the
fair.
rec, I went to these rec board meetings and
Fair.
we have yet not had a rec board person come to this meeting. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And I went to rec board and they still not showing up. They requesting funds, but they're not showing up for the meetings. That makes no sense to me. I mean, put something into it if you want to get something out of it. But again, and again, I would have liked to seen it where they had to put up part of it too, where they had some of their funds.
Yeah.
Because we're in a cooperative endeavor with them,
Yeah.
but we're giving them a lot already.
Right.
You know, but
Oh,
I'm good with the
I
fact y'all
completely
passed as
understand.
far as passed, but I'm just saying I want to state my opinion because I went to the rec board meeting and
and honestly, 50,000 is something that is an old estimate that they
Right.
might have to,
come up with something.
I mean,
Right.
and
I mean, I'm for the nets in the sense of that, but I'd like to see them be a part of it, you know, because the nets are definitely needed.
and
But
I
they-
100% agree with you. I really do.
yeah, well, let me, and the reason why I'd like to explain, because I guess sometimes I don't tell everybody everything I know. But if you look at our complex out there, the property line probably almost divides the girls softball with the boys part. Rec board owns it on the side toward the girls softball. The Vidalia actually owns the ground, but it was a lease, I think, with the cooperative endeavor that the rec board leasing that whole property. But, you know, the town of Vidalia does own it. So if someone were to get hurt and it's on the Vidalia portion side, could you be open to liability? I think council will tell you, being a lawyer, they're going to sue everybody. So, you know, and we want to make sure that we do everything to protect our citizens, our children. I know there's been several people hit with foul balls and, you know, that just suffered injury. Thank goodness we have not had anybody that I think have serious bad injury, but it could be coming, and we just want to make sure we protect them. But I promise you, I do understand where Alderman Probst is coming from. Alderman Smith even mentioned some concerns, but I think this is a good thing for us to do.
I do too.
And that-
I'd just like to see them participate, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
And that's why I'm voting on it as a safety guy.
That's it.
We can't get in.
Yeah, and I guess that's kind of how I feel, that I would hate that on my conscience if we
Right.
didn't approve it and somebody did get really hurt this year when we could maybe do something about it. So anyway, all right, let's move on. We got some more to go through. One of the things I had brought up, and I think some of the aldermen for, but I wanted to push it off until maybe a future time, was the decorative street signs and stop signs all through town at all of our neighborhoods. You know, the real nice, you know, instead of just the T-post type signs holding your stop sign, make them decorative and limit them out, but make them real decorative, make your neighborhoods really dress those up really nice. But we'll put that off. I withdrew that. Okay, one of the things that several of the aldermen had and wanted to keep it on for discussion tonight was the biking street ditch. We got bids on that. There's options, there's different levels of way you can, you know, solve that. One would be concrete it, the other would be put culverts. The issue with that ditch in the past has been, you know, for 8 years that I've been out, nearly 8 years I've been in office, we've had seepage water every year, and it kept water in it, and you couldn't cut it. So it grew up. It grew up. If you tried to put a tractor in there, you almost lost a tractor, maybe even an operator. It was so bad you couldn't cut it. And we probably were lax in keeping it up like we should. Last 2 years, though, we've had pretty much almost drought conditions, and we've been able to keep it maintained and cut. And we've, you know, kids, since it ain't mud and water in it, you know, another thing that caused issues back there, they'd ride four-wheelers in it. And you know what four-wheelers do? They cut ruts, and it doesn't ever, you know, trying to cut it even with it being dry is rough because the ruts are so bad. You almost kill the operator on it trying to, you know, cut something like that. So I'm leaving it up to the council what they want to do. The project to concrete it was nearly $4 million. And to put culverts in it would probably be, I'd say, not quite half of that. And that's just a guess. We haven't got any kind of engineer's estimate wins here to get an estimate to do that. Or do y'all want to do this with it? Is maybe go another year and consider it next year? Or do y'all want us to get an estimate on it and see what that's going to cost?
I would like to see an estimate.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
We do. And again, like I said, it's been a project's been on our mind for a while, you know, for a long time.
It's been a problem. It's been a problem.
But,
It's,
you know, what I'm thinking, if we ever got it flat back there, if there's a cover, town probably never would have to cut it again because the people living there would keep it cut.
No, we'll probably have to cut it.
Well, I mean,
we probably be the ones cut it.
well, they can't cut it now. They consider, everyone I've talked to said they would keep it cut. So,
Would y'all like to maybe save it for next year?
oh, hey, no way we can do it this year. We can do
That's what
it.
it's,
Hold some funds, say, put some, you know what I'm saying?
it's y'all's call.
Feel at one point in time, we're gonna have to come up with something. We'd have to have a good year to be able to say, we can do the project, but that'd be taking all the funds to even think about it. So I don't know how you put funds back to go towards it. Didn't we do that with,
Streets.
Street, we got 500,000.
Right.
That's in there for us to do streets, and
Right.
we're looking at doing those now. We're
could
getting
we
that.
take part of those funds and put them back for that project and build off of it like that? Otherwise, I don't know that we'd ever get to it.
Well, honestly, whatever we do there, it's if we do culverts, I think putting concrete there is out of the question.
Yeah.
So culverts would have to be engineered. Would probably take 3 months to probably get it engineered. You're looking at almost August having hydro meetings for next year. So I would.
well, that's why I was thinking, if we don't know how much it is, I mean, how can we?
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. I mean, I
So
knew.
we'll go off this year, but we do need to keep it on the table.
Well, let's keep
As
it
a
on the
senior
table.
as a-
I agree 100%.
And I got a question since you just mentioned it. The parts of the ditch that are concreted now, who paid for that?
That's those concrete ditches have been there for, I guess, probably 20 years. Cornell, how long has those ditches been concreted through the section from the highway all the way to the old trestle? At least 20. And I don't know, I have never researched that to see whether that was state or a grant paid for that or whether the town paid for it.
We
I
got
don't
a
know.
good grant writer. I bet she can get after that grant.
It'd be great. So, okay, so
Hey, do that, and then we won't have to spend our hydro funds. Just get us a grant. That'd be good.
so what I'm hearing is y'all want to,
Oh, I'm good with
Okay.
that.
I don't see no other way.
okay, all right. Because, I mean, several of you wanted to still keep it on there to discuss anyway, so. All right. Next thing we have,
Mr. Mayor, what are we doing?
oh, I think it's basically tabled till next year.
Right.
Is that a good
Yeah.
analysis of it? Okay. Uh, Okay, now we come to a sidewalk on South Oak. This is on the south side of town. There's not a sidewalk on I will call that the west or side of the street. There's not a sidewalk. Miss Vivian Bradford's here, and she is a citizen who thinks it would add a lot to that area and make it nice for people to be able to walk up and down the street. And so I don't have an estimate on there. I would think an estimate on that sidewalk, if it goes the whole length of it, we're probably looking at, and that's going to be an estimate, I would say at least, 30 to 50,000 if you do a sidewalk on that whole street. Pardon? 4 blocks, yeah, 4 blocks. Right. Mhm.
Vivian, how long she had that on the books? You had it on there a while.
Yeah.
She's been fighting for this
Yeah.
project for a while.
Yeah.
Which
What
is,
what street is that?
Oak
Oak
Street, South
Street.
Oak. Okay. All right, do I hear a motion? We do the
I'll
sidewalk on
take a
South?
motion on that to get it done.
Hmm?
Take a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Proctor,
I'll
second.
second.
Second by Alderman Dempsey. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
All right. Ms. Vivian, there you go. Okay. Next thing we have, now this is where, I'm just going down some of the list. One is the after-school program. It's a tutorial for kids. And the ask on that was for, I got it right here,
150,
150,000.
yes.
150,000 for the after-school tutorial for the kids. I think they did it once before. And I think, Ms. Denby, you was in charge of it, weren't you?
I was the director, yes.
She was the director of it. And, with kids with COVID and all, a lot of them got behind. And I think it'd be a need for it for sure. And she and I talked at length. The only thing concerns me is I'd like to have something, some correspondence with the school board and get some kind of accreditation and help from them on setting up some. Did y'all have any bylaws or anything, any kind of rules set up
We
that
did.
y'all went by?
Of course.
I would
We
like
did.
I would like for us to handle it just like we do any of these other projects that we give out.
Mhm.
Since it is public funds, we have to make sure that when they're dispersed, that people will, use them for what they're intended. And for example, and I'm not saying this, let's just say any project we approve tonight that people are doing, like whatever it's with this for a tutorial, or let's say the Vietnam Wall or any of these things, these people will do what's intended with what the ask is. And as they spend the money, they will come and give us receipts and show that we can verify how that money was spent to keep us all out of trouble. Okay? I think it's a worthy program. There's several worthy programs, but it's going to be private groups are going to be nonprofits are going to be administering these things. And we want to make sure that they stay within the guidelines to keep it legal. So is there any questions on that? But we would probably require Ms. Rosa Ms. Demi to look at how y'all have that set up, how the pay structure is going to be, are the kids coming just from Vidalia, Concordia Parish? How's that going to be handled? And how did y'all do that in the past
We did it for Vidalia children.
for Vidalia students?
Mhm.
And are these,
We did kindergarten through 10th grade,
through 10th grade?
yes.
And now did teachers recommend, or did parents, or how was the selection process for?
Well, I was a director, and so I interviewed teachers, and then we selected those teachers that we for the grades like for kindergarten, first grade, second, and so forth.
Mhm.
And most of them were retired teachers who had already worked in the Vidalia schools, the Concordia Parish school system.
This is in the building. Down by
Yeah, this is in
water
the,
plant.
y'all had that in the,
That's where they had it last time.
Yeah.
Buildings down there.
That was in 2012.
that building's still where y'all probably still have it, correct?
That kind of along the lines of what we were talking about a while ago with the rec board. How's the school board business? I mean,
That's
can they
my-
help with it?
That's the question I got too. Because, I mean, we can do it, but I'm like Mayor Kraft said, we need some guidelines. We need some structure as far
Well,
as
there
how
is,
that needs.
there are guidelines, and it was not that the money was given to us
Right,
per se, but everything was paid from the mayor's office, from the central,
Right.
from the office. And there was a list of expenditures and so forth that was given each month for supplies and all that stuff. So it was all legal. I mean, it was not that we have the money and we
right.
spend it the way
Well,
we want
I'm not
to.
saying that, but the school board, what we're talking about is the
Yeah,
school
like-
board with some guidelines on how it should be formed
Yeah.
and the fact of
Well, there was
what
no,
were the accomplishments, what were the goals to start with, what were the accomplishments that we want to accomplish, and then what have we attained from this project? And
we
then
had
we would
that.
have some results. as
we
far
had
as-
that from the school board. The
Yeah.
school board gave us the objectives that they wanted us to look at.
Right,
And those objectives that we work with toward getting those children ready for the end of the year test.
okay,
And so there were kids who could not read and were not reading. And at the end of the session, when it
Right.
was over in May, and they test, was a marked difference.
Yeah.
So some of those kids who couldn't read were reading and
Right.
did well on the test. So
but we
we
can see,
did.
we could have a goal, what we want to accomplish and a result. That's what I'm looking forward to come along with, if we do approve these funds, that we have so we can see how this is working to fund it, It's like, who the kids were that maybe didn't have, and then here we see a great accomplishment when they can come and take that
I
test.
think it's a great idea.
Well, the
Yeah.
teachers, see, every day,
And it
you know,
seems
the
Right.
teachers work with these children and they make recommendation as to who needs the extra
That's
help.
the key.
And so
the
that's what
key.
they did.
Yeah.
We didn't just go out and
No, I know.
choose children.
Yeah.
And that's
The
what I'm
different
saying
schools sent
too,
them
is
to us.
you didn't pick them.
Mm-mm.
You get that from the school,
Of
from the
course.
school board,
Mhm.
that says these kids, they bad news at home. They don't have any help, because that's what we're trying to help. I'm sure a lot of those people that don't have that help at home, because there's a many of them, correct? Many of people don't have anybody that can help them with their kids
The
with their
the
work.
amount, how did y'all determine the amount? Was that close to what y'all spent the last time?
Yes, not close. I mean, last time we spent 75,000, but that was in 2012.
Okay, only thing I would ask, Ms. Denby, is in the program, if we approve that much, if what's actually spent, if it's not spent, maybe, if you want to do it the next year, carry over. Because we've all known government, if they don't spend their budget, well, we're gonna spend it, just to use it. So that, we need to be good stewards of it. And if you don't spend it, if you can do it, more
Just
reasonable, we certainly would, with
From an educational, so you can educate me, does the school board help with that? Or
No.
They're not, probably,
No,
don't.
they had no input financially at all. It was strictly done.
But the schools help with it. The actual teachers you get that from those teachers, not the school board, but the teachers from the
Of course.
schools. Y'all work with those teachers, and y'all know teachers, because a lot of them you said were former teachers that find those children that need that help and try to get them to come to these
Yeah, I was
sessions.
gonna say, well, you were the director, I know it was top notch. And those kids are very lucky.
Thank you.
the only other thing I'd be concerned about is the turning in and doing reporting taxes and reporting, any kind of payroll monies that's paid out, that's all handled and done, that would be important as well, so. Okay,
Do we need to table? Do we need to get some more stuff, or what are we gonna do?
well,
I mean, we can come back to it, if, I guess we could, for that project, or
well,
what?
we can approve it subject to getting
Okay.
those things, if y'all want to do that. Because it sounds like y'all are for it, they just,
Yeah.
It's up, I'll be honest with you.
Just like you said, for the guidelines.
Yeah, Miss Rosa, she and I work great together. She can bring that to me, and what we'll do, we'll sit down, staff will sit down, and we'll look through it and make sure getting with our people and making sure that it's all legal and the state approved, and we get busy. So,
Same way with, I don't want a kid to get hit by a foul ball. I don't want a kid to learn to read either.
yeah. So can I hear a motion to approve the 150, subject to getting the required documentation to the town?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Alderman Best, here a second.
I'll say.
Second by Alderman Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
Mayor, what's the title of this into?
It's the after-school tutorial program, and it's going to be administered at the Concord Youth. Y'all help me, what's okay? Concord Youth and Adult Association. Okay. All right.
Now, I was, listen, I'm just saying that I was the director in 2012, but that does not say that, I'll be the person who will be directing.
Right, we understand. She's trying to retire. She's trying to retire and go home. Don't sound like we're gonna let you, Miss Dib. Okay, next thing we had is playground equipment and basketball courts. That's at the Vidalia Junior High School. The ask is for $185,000. Miss Rosa and I visited at length on that and discussed it. It's kind of vague, what you mean. And with that being on school board property, I think this is something that I would like to see us take one of those goals, courts, cover it, put lights on it and redo it, put a good surface on it and do it. The only thing is, I think we need to have discussions with the school board because we're putting stuff on their property without talking to them about it that I think we should do. Is that what we talked about? Making sure with these things here, we got a dollar amount, but this is going to be something we need to have meetings with the school board on that I think we're all for it, but we need to make sure that, and I think that's another thing that we could table till this next hydro meeting in August that we're going to have to do that, because it's going to take us that long to come up with what the school board's going to want to do. Would y'all be in agreement with that? Ms.
I
Rose?
say table.
Hmm?
That'll be, table sounds like, because you're gonna have to get a lot of information with that.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel? I know, is Wendell here? Wendell? Felix? Okay. Okay.
Can we have members of the school board too?
Mr. Dunbar is
Or
here.
is that something?
He works, yeah.
How do you feel about that, Willie? I mean, he's. Yeah, we need, I think and I think that would also fall into the next thing, the practice football and soccer fields down there. That's again, the school board, we need to get with them on that ask. And look, I think everybody's for doing something, but we got to get our ducks in a row. And this is the first time we've had all the aldermen together to vote on it. It sounds like they're okay for it, but I think we're just going on, and pushing it on down. So we'll table these two items. The next thing we have is established turnarounds at the North Spruce, North.
Before you leave,
We're going to table that.
did you talk about the walking trail there? We mentioned the
Oh,
walking
yeah.
trail.
One of the asks on there was to put reclaim on the walking trail. That's been done. On our last overlay we did around town, it is a very nice walking trail back there. I mean, it's a road. It's really nice. The only thing we need to do now is get access to it right there from Sycamore, is make an access there and put more reclaim where citizens can drive there. It's a nice walking trail. I'm gonna work with Representative Travis Johnson. There's some solar lighting that's gonna be available, I think, for our municipality. And that would be great to put solar lights back there, just run off solar and put up there to light it. I personally wouldn't want to walk back there without some protection because there's been a lot of black bears been seen back there recently. And but anyway, it is a nice area. So
LED lights.
LED, yes.
And we
Oh,
talked about
the
that.
LED lights, they requested LED lights in District 1 and 2. The program we got in place right now is rather than going through and spending a lot of money going through and completely redoing all of your lights, street lights and that, now as lights need replacing or burn out, we replace them with LED. So it's a process. It's going to take time. But now if a light fixture goes out, we replace that with LED. So, we'll get around to all of them as they go out, so. Okay? So now, establish a turnaround on North Spruce, North Magnolia, and,
Walnut,
and Laurel.
Laurel, Walnut. That's what I have.
Yeah, it might be Walnut. I can't read my writing. Might be. Yeah, it's Walnut. I'm sorry.
Spruce, Magnolia, and Walnut.
Yeah. North Spruce, Magnolia, and Walnut. There's no turnarounds there now. Anybody goes down those streets, it's dead ends. You have to either back up and get in somebody's driveway. You got garbage trucks go down it every 2 days. And it's just, I think it would be something that would be a big help to everybody that lives in District 2 or anybody that travels those areas to have a turnaround to where they can go down and come back around. I want to estimate a cost at that. You're looking at those turnarounds. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere around 175 to 200,000 or 108, at least 150 to 200,000. And again, that might be high, but I don't want to, if we do it, I want to do them all and get it done. Is everybody okay? I mean, everybody got any other comments on that? Okay. We'll put 150 in it. And if it comes in cheaper, of course, we're only going to spend what it bids out for. We're going to have estimates and the engineer's bid on it. It'll be curb and gutter. Okay. All right, to hear a motion to do the turnarounds.
Make a motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst. Here a second.
Second.
Second by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next thing we got, now I don't know what is meant by this, but beautification of Florida and Alabama. We just overlaid Alabama. Florida and Georgia is next on the list to overlay those. Right now we have some drainage issues in there where when they went in and took the little curves in there that you had drainage on, they put these metal plates in there that stop up and causes flooding in that area. We're going to put those little things, it's almost going to be like a speed bump, but it's going to have the drainage where those streets are drained again now. So, does anybody, Willie or anybody, Miss Rosie, you want to talk about what they meant by beautification of Florida and Alabama? It just said beautification of Florida and Alabama.
I don't know.
I can talk about that.
Okay.
You go on
Chris.
Walden Street right now, 400 line, the rain we had for Sunday, is still sitting on it.
Okay.
It's not draining. And we have to, the residents of those areas, on the water, Florida and Georgia, and water, we gratefully, we have 3 oak trees, macaroni trees, and they start draining. So we do go out and clean out the drain, but the drains are stopped up inside the drain.
Okay. But another reason, the problem is the oak trees. What's happening is the roots are kicking the curb up and that water can't get past the curb and that holds the water. But we'll certainly look at that. That is something we can handle internally. I don't think it's something we need to budget money for, but we can look at and maybe cut some extra sections of curb out and we can run cameras in those drains and see if they're stopped up. Matter of fact, I do want to say that since we're talking about drainage, when you're talking about that, I was concerned back part of Lee was flooding. I mean, just what a 3-inch rain, you was having flooding all the way up back up.
Right.
And Cornell and them finally found a trash can and basketballs were in the drainage and they dug up a large portion of that line.
A lot of stuff in there, wasn't it, Cornell?
And then this last time, last rain we had, I don't think we had any flooding whatsoever, did we?
That's amazing, though. But
How a
I don't
trash
know-
can
I don't
got
know
in
how we
that,
didn't find it all them years, you know.
how that
There's some
trash can,
bad stuff back up in there.
how that trash can got in there, I'll never know. Okay, next,
I think those metal drains, they're not wide enough for the amount of water. that's
those will come out.
They're full of mud.
Those will come out.
Okay,
Those come out. Okay?
thank
All right. Next thing we have is the beautification committee has asked for $167,000. And on that list, I'll go ahead and list it. And there's several things on here. Oh, it's right here. Okay. You have at the cruise ship area, flower beds and benches, 6,000. Upgrade welcome to Vidalia signs, 25,000. And what they're talking about is, I took down the old sign there when you come over across the bridge. We want to put a nice sign there, and I'm gonna work with the beautification committee. And if Women's Club wants to work with us or any other local groups will get together and come up with a collective design they want to make it look like. The O2 booth, brick column, flower beds around it, 6,000. A large flagpole and installation, 40,000. Y'all know what we're talking about, the huge flag that's really, really pretty. And, again, if they want to pull out some of these things, we can do that and just approve certain parts of this. I'm certainly open to do whichever one they want to do. The gazebo down at the riverfront decorated with lights, lit wreaths, and flower beds around the gazebo and flower bed and riverfront flower beds. The Riverwalk sidewalk banners and signs, 12,000. Botanical art on all of our utility boxes, 8,000. That might be a perfect art project. And some type of plaque. We want to put a plaque with Martin Luther King on Martin Luther King Boulevard. That would be at the turning off the bridge there, going on Martin Luther King, at the north side and the south side of MLK. And then we have the historic courthouse is putting electrical outlets around the oak trees to eliminate extension cords. And that totals 167. And like with the tutorial, any of these projects require, we monitor these. They don't get paid till they bring in invoice, we verify them, and they get approval before they spend the money. And make sure they're within the budget of what they're going to try to accomplish on some of these things. Any questions or comments?
So we're going to, as far as that, you said you could do part of that, or you could do none of that, or you could do.
If there's something you want to pull out of that you're not for, I think y'all should have that ability to do that.
I'm not for all of it. I promise. That's just me.
I understand. Well, that's why we're having this meeting. We want to make sure that, because
I mean, there's other projects that have been ahead of that project. I guess you'd say that. I didn't bring up all those other projects.
But we get to it.
Yeah, but there are other projects ahead of that project.
Sure. Any other comment?
How much
I'd
are
like
we
to
up
see the
to?
flagpole.
How much are we up to?
Do what now?
167,000 total.
No, I'm talking about that we've approved so far.
How much we up to? There's 100, 150, 300. You up to 450,000. Not counting Polk Park.
Okay.
I'm like John. If there's one thing I would like is the flagpole.
And I would honestly, if I can give it a state, I think the most beautiful place to put it would be between the median between as you come off the bridges or going on the bridges right there. You can see that bridge from Natchez. You can see it all over. It'd be a beautiful place right there.
I think that's one of the things
If
I
we
would
can get
say
it.
take out of that. I would agree with on that.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think it's going to cost 40,000, but we had to start somewhere. I could get Woodmen of the World. They do projects like this, and they'll probably come down and supply the pole, and a lot of labor might be a fraction of that. Yeah. But what I'm saying is I can get some help with it. Okay. I know, but what I'm saying though, I can probably get Woodmen of the World. They do projects like this all over the state, and they help. At the LEPA offices in Lafayette, they put 3 huge flags, and I think it cost $7,000 or $8,000. They paid for the flags, they paid for the pole. If I can get, all I'm saying is, if I can get help, I will. But I'm not saying don't budget it. Yeah, I'm saying budget it, but we want to have it. But how do y'all want to do this? Y'all want to take one item at a time, or y'all want to take
They're asking for 167.
167 total ask?
What if we give them 100,000?
Which projects you can pick?
They'll just spend 100,000.
It's up to council what y'all want to do. Honestly, I think there's some things here to be nice, but I think there's some things that can wait. The flower beds and benches around the cruise ship area. They haven't even been docking there recently because of the low water situation. There's some things we can wait on. I like the sign upgrade, the old toll booth area, flower beds. I think could wait, even though it'd be nice. Flagpole I like.
I'd like to see, put the electricity at the old courthouse.
The electricity would help because when we have all
We
the
need
functions
that.
there,
We don't have to worry about somebody stealing.
the Riverwalk sidewalk banners and signs, I think are nice. I mean, the botanical art on all your utility boxes, I think we should be selective in which ones we do and what's it gonna look like, it would dress up some things. And I do like Martin Luther King, having the commemorative signs up, identifying that as Martin Luther King Boulevard. So, y'all want to vote on each one? Go down the list?
Flagpole.
Huh?
I'm for the flagpole.
All right.
I'd like to see.
All right. All right. Let's just go down the list right quick. And and just have just by voice conversation. How many of the Aldermen would be in favor of the flower beds and benches at the cruise ship? And I'm not taking a vote now. I'm just trying to see where we even need to consider it. Anybody?
We could table that.
Okay, table.
Until
So
later.
table that.
Mhm.
Upgrade of welcome to Vidalia signs.
Yes.
I think we definitely
We need
need to do
that.
that.
Okay, all right. So I'm marking the ones then we will go back and make a motion. The old toll booth brick columns, flower beds.
Yes,
Okay, all right. That one.
That's visible.
of
Okay.
course.
The large flagpole. I think everybody was for that.
Yes,
What about the gazebo? For $40,000 with lighted wreaths and flower beds around the gazebo and riverfront flower beds. Now, riverfront flower beds is going to be up and down the riverfront.
Table.
Alderman Crowe says table.
Put it in next time.
Man, everything else down there is so nice.
Yeah.
Not,
I'd hate to.
my vote is yes.
We need to. I
Yeah.
think we need to do it.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, so it sounds like, Okay.
I'm sorry.
all right. Riverwalk, sidewalk banners and signs, 12,000.
Is that replacing the ones that we're taking down?
This will put them all the way up and down the riverfront. They'll be there and they'll be similar to what you see over there now. Is that right? Right, it's nothing up now, but it'd be similar to what you see over there.
Is it going to be something similar to what was up there originally?
No, it's gonna look like the stuff that's over on the,
It's gonna look like, it's suited on the roof down to the.
the decorative lights now we got, those
Right.
banners on there. It's got Town of Vidalia's emblem on it, that
Right.
and different, Vidalia stuff.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Botanical art on our utility boxes,
Let's hold that.
Huh?
Let's hold off on that.
hold off,
Somebody got to show me what botanical art is.
flowers.
Flowers.
Alderman Crowe?
I'm for the flagpole.
Okay. All right, all right, don't sound like the botanical boxes, okay, well. The Martin Luther King, signs,
I think
Yes.
so.
okay. And the electrical outlet around the oak trees at the courthouse,
Yes.
okay. All right. So y'all want to do those as collective whole? There's 20, 31, 71, 111, 123. I hope I got this right. 137.
We'll do the
May
167.
may as well.
Well, the only thing you took out was $8,000 for the botanical art and $6,000 on the,
14,000.
yeah, duh. I could have done it that quick. Huh? You're taking out 14,000. Okay, that's what y'all want?
Yes.
Okay, so 153,000. All right, do I hear a motion we approve 153 for the,
I so move.
okay, moved by Alderman Denby,
I'll second.
second by
I'll second.
Alderman Smith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, Alderman Pope shows he was for the flag. Okay, let's move on. All right, I think that completed that list. Okay, next thing we have is the Vietnam Wall Memorial. I think Colonel McClure and Mr. McAllister visits with all of y'all. Is any discussion on it? I think most of y'all are
You know,
they had asked for 40,000.
ever since he brought that up, I just, for some reason, couldn't get that out of my mind. Why they should have, boy, it seemed, I would love to see the town do the whole thing and just keep it up. I mean, I can't think of a better way to show our patriotism. I know a lot of people go by there and see that thing. And that's something we can be proud of. Not that we're not proud of everything else, but I guess I just kept thinking about that. We've all had people in the service, family, friends. And I just think it'd be a good draw for the town.
One thing I'll discuss whenever you finish.
And,
I thought
you know,
you was
the location by the RV park, people, they ride their bikes and they walk, everybody would come by there and see it. That's just my 2 cents, but I'd like to just see us do it all and take the burden off them.
Well, they asked for this year's 40,000.
One thing, I talked with them and I talked with Doug and I told him one of the things that I would like to see is to y'all to be more, I discussed about getting out the community and see where the community stands on this, have a fundraising event, say, hey, jambalaya plate, $12, see who's going to come. You can raise funds like that, but get the people in y'all's group to be able to get out there and show y'all support out there, because I know there's a lot of veterans, there's a lot of people that would love to, I feel like they'd be involved in that.
I think
the community would enjoy that also, to be able to kick this off and say, hey, let's see what we can do to support this. Not just us, but the whole community. Because if you got a community support, it's going to be shown.
Is what they need.
Yeah.
What, can I say something right there? I think they more than pay and contribute.
Oh, I'm not saying, it's not
I-
about them paying it, Brent. It's about the community. Let's bring the community into it. Let's make them aware of it. There maybe not, people don't even know about it, out there. But that's where we got to get it out there, I think, to bring the community into it so we can feel a part of it. Because I don't think it just needs to go up. I think we as a community, that's the problem we have with so many things, like baseball and all those things. We don't get people involved in it. This is where the community comes together to show their involvement. That's my point. Not that they didn't sacrifice, not that they didn't do it, but they can show themselves out there. Guess what? People are going to show themselves towards them because of who they are.
Well,
They will contribute. They
I did
will.
look
And
into
those
selling
businesses and
hamburgers,
everybody else.
try to do something that they've already done.
Well,
Wow.
if I may, what y'all have presented to you tonight is an invoice for the $40,000 for the balance of our down payment. I do have 3 other invoices that total $175,000 that, hey, I'll be glad to pass on to you. We have, that's an easy thing, but we have been to the community, Vidalia Elementary, Upper Elementary, on 2 different occasions. They've raised anywhere from $750 to about $1,300 just in collecting coins in a week. They know about it. There's a little Baptist church down below Natchez that has, between bake sales and other contributions, they've contributed about $3,000. And there are other organizations that we're going to, because the total of $225,000 is for the elements of the memorial. There's probably going to be another $150,000 that we need to raise, which would be an area for what you're talking about, that will cover building the sidewalks and putting in a flagpole and building a little open air metal chapel sort of thing. So that's probably another $150,000 to $160,000 over and above the cost of the memorial itself. And the memorial is not just the Vietnam Wall. I want to make sure people understand that. It's got the traveling Vietnam Wall in it. It's got a tribute to the Afghanistan and Iraq warriors. 9/11, a period from 1945 to 75. Not a lot of us were around during that first part of that one, but, and then from 79 to 89 and 1999 to 2020, one of my feelings for it is once we get it developed, I want to add a portion like they have over in Jonesville, just west of town, where they have a memorial that honors all of the Catahoula Parish dead from World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Right.
Fortunately, we didn't have anybody go down in this last section of war. So, and when I had talked to Alderman Smith this week, he mentioned that about, hey, I'd like to see you pay for all of it. And if you'd like to do that, I've got the invoices, because I understand we have to present you with an invoice. So right now you've got the one for $40,000 to pay for the rest of our down payment. And we are out working in the community, and not just this side of the river, but Natchez. And we also have gone to the Louisiana State Department of Veterans Affairs. They've given us a list of entities to contact to get additional funding. And a lot of that, if we can get our community to take care of the tribute, then we can get those other folks to build all the sidewalks and put in flower beds in honor for Miss Cassandra and all of that. So, we appreciate all the support that y'all can give, and the more the better. We love it. But we appreciate the consideration and the opportunity.
Okay.
If you have any questions for me, I'm glad.
Any questions? Okay, the ask was for 40,000. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Betts first, second by Alderwoman Denby. You want to do the second?
Yes.
Second by Alderwoman Denby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, there we go. All right, let's see, let me just see this. All right, next thing we had, and Alderman Probst brought this up a couple years ago, and we keep kicking this can down the road, problem trees. I think we actually have 300,000. Isn't 300,000 in it now? Do we have 300,000 for the tree project? I think it's 300,000. It's in there. I think it's just on us to get it actually identified and how we're going to do it. So we've been chewing up this elephant one bite at a time all through town.
But y'all have taken some. Y'all have
Yeah, we've taken
y'all taken a few.
We've taken a few at a time, but we need to do a comprehensive thing where we come in and actually protect our utility lines.
That's what I want you to explain to everybody what that
And
consists of.
what I'm talking about, when you have the freeze we had, 3 years ago now, when the rain hits, you have a freezing rain that hits and it accumulates all this weight on these trees and the limbs break, they fall on power lines. We had just catastrophic line damage all through town. But we were luckily was able to get everything back up. People, suffered, it was a bad time. It's the worst probably disaster like that in my lifetime. And I'm 64 years old that I can remember. But we want to make sure that we eliminate that. The last freeze we had, I know a lot of people were doing precautions and stuff. And I looked at it and I said, we're not going to have any rain to speak of. So I didn't worry about it because the cold weather, the only thing we have to worry about is upstream problems with energy that provides us our transmission, any problems they might have. But as far as the town itself, we had no issues. As far as I know, I don't even know if we had anybody have a blink during this last freeze. And I'm proud of our workers and our utility workers. They usually year round keep a good look on everything. We have a list of the problem trees. However, then you get into, well, to what extent do you cut the tree? Do you just cut the limb off of the tree? I'm off where the line is the danger, or do you take the tree down to where it's not the whole tree down and just leave a big old, just a trunk of it in somebody's yard? And how far do you take it down? Those questions, when somebody's going to come in and give you a bid, it's got to be apples to apples, or nobody can give you an accurate bid. They can, well, if you're just going to take those tree limbs and cut them down, it's going to be this price. But if you take the tree down to where there'd never be another problem on those lines, it's going to be this amount, which is way more. and getting that and identifying those trees and getting somebody, what do we want to do? Do we want to just take the limbs that are currently in danger, or do we want to take the tree down basically to the trunk where it is maybe even with like this spark light service lines, the AT&T phone lines? Just take it down to there. It's no longer a danger then, unless it bushes out again to our city. You know, what would council want to do? Do you want to? And now some people, you gonna do that to my tree? Because I promise you, I
A lot
got.
of them gonna say, I'm glad.
Yeah, a lot of it. Yeah, they want us to do that now. They want us to take the whole tree down for them.
Because of that.
But I mean, what is? And that if I have that question answered, then I can probably get somebody to give me a good bid.
Well, like I said, even if we don't get them all, I'd like to see at least get started on it. You know, at
Now-
least some, and I would say take them down.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
And
Take
see-
them down, even if you don't get them all, we could take so much budget per
Yeah.
year as that project.
And the only thing that that we run up against, those who are familiar with bid law, is, you know, are you circumventing bid law if you have local contractors doing it and you're just getting under bid law when you have you've got an ongoing thing here, but you should have got a price for doing the whole project.
Right.
Whereas if you piecemeal it and avoid the bid process, you're violating state law.
Yeah, and I mean, like you
So
said.
I got to be careful. You
That
know,
is true.
So I got to
Again,
be
we
careful.
got to decide something because we
If y'all want
kicking
to,
the can down the road.
if y'all want to come in and take those trees down to the AT&T service lines and leave the trunk there, or do you want to just take them down to where the limbs that are in danger of causing a problem when the wind blows and the limb blows and gets over the power line and shorts it out?
I say take them down.
Huh?
Take them down.
Take them down?
I just, like I was telling Jay, I hate for you to cut a tree and then 10 years later, it's rotten and falls on the child.
There you go.
The next thing you know.
Or it sprouts back out.
Yeah. it
Well,
sprouts
some of
back
them
out.
will.
They
Some of them
will. They definitely
Some
will. I'd say take them down.
When we covered up our ditches, you know, you had the choice. The city would put the gravel back, or you could do concrete.
Mhm.
All right, there were some that chose not to do that, but those that chose to do concrete, we helped pay for that.
I see what you're going.
But I'm sort of like the trees.
That's not a bad idea.
The thing for us as the city is that we want to protect
Mhm.
our lines. Okay. And if we do that, then I think we've met our obligation. But if we're going to take it all the way down, maybe the homeowner can help with that, because I mean, we're saving him from having to do it
Oh,
himself
yeah.
and
Well,
cut it down.
the only thing, John, and that's a great idea. My only problem is you might have somebody who's on fixed income
I
and they
understand
can't
that.
afford that 200 to take down the rest of that tree.
I understand that. I understand that. There's circumstances.
I know,
a
yeah,
lot of
it's
things,
it's
but-
situational. I mean, it is. I would rather us just go ahead. That way we'll have guidance. We're going to take it down to the AT&T service line. And that way, when somebody comes and gives us a bid, they know the scope of their work.
Right.
It's not going to be, well,
Right.
you should have took, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And everybody can compare apples to apples. And then we'll identify those trees that have to be taken out. Cornell, I will just get with Keith. We've identified most of them.
And you've got
And actually, some of
You've got already gotten
some of them have been taken down, but there's still a lot.
Still a lot. There was 43 or 42 at one time, Courtney? Now? We got some
I
of
thought it was more than that.
them. Now, they took down several of them now.
Yeah, they-
Well, what we'll do,
I would think y'all would take it down to one that was next to
Right.
Lux. I'm glad that my tax money went to cut down that tree instead of building them a new building.
There you go.
oh, yeah.
They got that sucker down and it's good.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, so we got 300,000 in there. That might do it. I mean, and honestly, if it doesn't do it, we'll come back because it's going to take somebody probably 2 or 3 months to come in and bid that out, look at it. So,
Are
So
you
you-
talking about that, you talked about that company at one time?
well, I think we'll go to all of our local companies, let them put in a
Right,
bid,
right.
and then we'll get a couple outside ones just to keep them honest. Okay? All right, so there we go. All right, the next thing, we're up to 603,000, by the way.
Well, hold on, what?
Oh, we need to make a motion. on it. Who wants, well, we don't have to, it's, money's already in there for that.
There is money, but yeah, another year is coming up, and if we want to get it.
And once we get the bids, we'll know.
Mayor, I think we don't know exactly how much is in there, but you saying that you wanted to take whatever we can to get up to 300,000?
If it's not 300, then let's make, but that ain't gonna know where we're at now as far as tonight, but,
You want to set 300,000?
I think Alderman Probst had requested $300,000 before.
If we
If we don't
You-
spend it, we don't spend it.
right. That was just to cover what we had possibility
Okay.
of, depending on how we went down. with it.
Okay. I would like, Alderman Probst, you can make this motion. Let's
I'll
request,
make a motion.
let him make a motion to whatever's in the fund now, if it's not 300,000, to put in the difference. And I'm not going to add anything to this because I think it's 300,000. And if it is, we'll come up with that and we'll deal with it after we do this.
Make the motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst here, second.
I'll say.
Alderman Smith, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, John, that took care of your list, John. There's Rosa's is taken care of. Alderman Smith, the only thing left that you had requested was to pave the area at the complex that has the electrical post to use for overflow parking. And you was thinking, you had in mind for the Relay for Life project.
Yeah, I mean, all that electricity's out there is just not being used.
Yeah.
It's just, and
Well, I think the reason why those electric hookups and water was put out there is for, like, if there were ball tournaments or any kind of functions, people could pull in their RVs and park there and plug in and so forth. I think, is that right, John? What was it put out there for?
Yeah, that was the idea.
it'd be a lot easier if it looks paved.
Yeah, the only problem I think when we put a lot of traffic with it being paved and people parking on it, you're fixing to have that stuff start getting run over.
Mhm.
That's the only
Or back
detrimental.
into, if you put a barrier around it, then you really have.
I just,
Like I draw one, and I mean, if we got the money used somewhere else on that, that's fine. I was just saying, don't have the parking lot go all the way up to, have a
yeah,
space with a, whatever you call it,
Yeah.
pipe or.
can we, I guess we would need to have, because I don't have any idea what that would cost.
No, I don't.
Are we close
Just
enough to
not-
maybe push that off?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'd
what-
like to see.
Can we table that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
That's a good, great idea. It's just, I think we need to let's have
I
it
know
in.
when we do, I used to live up here at the ballpark. There's people parked all everywhere they could park.
Mhm.
And I'm like, boy, it'd be great if that was paved over there.
Okay, I think that just about completes the ask from all the council that they wanted to put on the list to discuss tonight, all the different ones.
We got your folks part.
Yeah, now, so we're up to 603,000 unless I calculated wrong. Is anybody else keeping up with me? Am I right? You, I don't know. I'm supposed to know, aren't I?
300.
I'm showing, I'm up to 603,000, so 3 million less the 600,000 is gonna leave, just, there you go. You got 2,397,000.
And like I said, we don't have to spend it all, but we talked
No,
about a
yeah.
figure on Post
Yeah.
Park too.
But now I would like to say that I want our first phase to be for parking, the playgrounds and the splash pad,
True.
because everybody's been wanting that.
That's right.
And we've got 400,000 in it now that's playground money that we can use. So in addition to that, you're going to have a total of, that difference.
What was your figure? Was around, to do what you just said, wasn't it around 1.6 million?
Yeah, 1.6 or yeah, something like that. And So, but we can go and get started because that total project's gonna be very expensive to do. The whole thing, walk around, walking trail, bike trail, landscaping, lights, dog park, skate park, skateboard park, frisbee golf, golf driving range, and that is glorified batting cages that people can, it'd be something a lot for a lot of people, so. But I think this right here gets a lot of things for the young people to do, so,
Make a motion on the 1.6 million.
okay. The difference, yeah, okay. No, it's,
Is that,
that's 2 point, it's gonna be,
but you said to get those accomplished, wasn't that what your figure was?
yeah, well, I think it might be higher than that. I'll look at it and see, but I got that.
Let's do this, let's put it there and then up to that, what we
Okay.
have left.
All right.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's
Make that motion.
Because it's gonna take that long to get it all.
Right.
Anyway, so.
Right.
All right. Motion made by Alderman Probst for the 1.6 or whatever that is. I'll look at it and see, because we got room within this, but. So that's motion made by Alderman Probst. I'll second by Alderman Betts. All in favor, say aye.
Is this for the 1.6 for Folk Park?
Is that in the place of where we had earlier said undesignated? So is this in place?
Yeah,
of
so
the
rather,
1.6 million?
so there's money we didn't spend tonight.
Oh, okay.
And some of these things that we tabled, that money will be available for the next time we can, I'll come up with that dollar amount and we can, address those.
Mayor,
In August.
you had 300 in on the tree, 793. I don't think it's most solidly previously.
Okay. Well, we still had room. I mean, you're right at it. I mean, you still had room. So if it's not in there, then it's 300 of it and that difference. I mean, there's 2.3
Right.
available. So there's room to do the tree project in there. Have I confused everybody tonight? Council, I'll get with you to write those minutes.
Would everybody remember you said that?
Well, okay, we're gonna move on. I think we're getting close, y'all. I think.
Mayor, before you move on,
Uh-huh.
since we are here talking about this money that was spent and that sort of thing,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
just want to say, I want to thank those folk who did those lights because I was adamant about getting Martin Luther King with the lights and the flags and so forth before I left office, said I'll be leaving office, will not be returning. I'm going to retire. And so it's beautiful. And I just want to say thank you for the hard work that you did. And when you drive down Martin Luther King, those light poles are so beautiful and the flags Sunday were waving and it was just so beautiful. So I can go home and say, well, this is what we did.
And we're gonna do more. We still have several poles left and we're gonna put those at the intersection of John Dale
Mhm,
and
I
Martin
know,
Luther King going to the riverfront.
I know.
So it's
But
gonna really be a nice
beautiful.
addition to.
It's really, really nice. And so thank you to those guys who worked so hard to get it done.
Now, that's something the beautification did with their money, but we did it with town labor and put them up. So it's really nice. So, okay, moving on. We're going to, we got to go into a public hearing for comments on purchase option agreement for industrial inducement purposes with Louisiana Renewable Fuel Facility LLC, approving the form and terms of such agreement and providing for other matters in connection with it therewith. And I need a motion to go into public hearing.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Demi. Do I hear a second? Second by Alderman Smith. All in favor, say aye. Okay, we're in public hearing. Any comments on that? Y'all know it. That's what would be the development of hydrogen and combining it with CO2 to make methane, liquefied methanol. That goes in ships and other fuels.
What would that do, Mayor?
It would be down from Syra, 70 acres on the industrial park. It's an option for them to purchase that.
On DAP lane?
Yes, down DA Big Lane, past where the substation is now, on the left. The new substation. Okay, any questions? Okay, do I hear a motion to exit public hearing?
Motion.
Motion made by Alderman Probst, second.
I'll second.
Alderman Betts, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're now out of public hearing. Now we have board discussion and vote of approval of a resolution authorizing the town of Vidalia to enter into a purchase option agreement for industrial inducement purposes with Louisiana Renewable Fuel Facility LLC, approving the form and terms of such agreement and providing for other matters in connection therewith. We've already discussed it.
I'll
Y'all
make a
approved it previous. Alderman Betts made the motion. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Probst. All in favor, say aye. All right. Now, we're almost there. Just one more thing on the agenda. There's another item after this, but Alderman Gardner's out of town and we requested to remove his request for travel expense to attend the National League of Cities Conference in Washington, D.C. So he's removed that request. So the only thing we got left is an update on employee work week. I don't think this is for informational purposes. I think it's something that doesn't have to be approved by council, but I would like their ideas on it. One of the things we recently had to do, our health insurance, we saw a healthy increase in insurance rates, health insurance, Blue Cross. And what we've come up with is we are putting half of the cost of the increase onto our employees, which is costing them money. And we wanted to think of something we could do because we do value our employees and the work they do because they are the best of the best. They set the bar. And I'm proud of all of our public servants, our fire department, our police chiefs here, Joey Merrill, and our fire chief, Johnny Evans is back there. And, you know, for everybody, all the people they work to keep us safe and keep us moving in the right direction. What could we do? We talked about it. You've seen a lot of people discussing going to a 4-day work week, although I'm not crazy about a 4-day work week, working 10-hour days and that so forth. But we did talk about just having a 4.5-day work week, working till maybe lunch on Fridays for them. And now there's no services are going to go down. There's no services are going to go down. Nobody's going to lose any pay. They would just be getting off at around lunchtime on Fridays. Now you might say, well, how are you going to keep the town running? All the necessary people, all your public service is still working. All utility workers are on call, just like they are when they leave at night. If they have an issue, they're very good at responding to. That's just like last night. I mean, Sunday night, I'm sitting there and somebody called, somebody home on the way home from church, saw water running, down the road and around McDonald's. And I called Cornell up and immediately he said, I'm on it. He was headed that way and went and checked it out. It wasn't too big of a deal that needed attending that night. But that's how things are handled. I mean, I don't see that being a detriment to our town. There's no increase in fees, which I do want to say thank you to the people. I was running unopposed. And in the last 8 years, we've not had any kind of increase in costs, even though we've seen inflation rampant. We've seen increase in fees for garbage, landfill fees. We've seen a lot of increases, and we've not increased any fees or costs to our citizens. This won't cost our citizens anything, but it will help, I think, be a nice something for our employees to give them. And I would just like our council to be on board with it, or at least discuss it and tell me their concerns, because I do want their blessing on this as we go forward. And I don't think it's going to hurt any of the service that we can provide any of our citizens. So I will open that up. If anybody they don't have to say anything, but if they'd like to, I'd like for them to.
My point on it would be that we have to keep our employees.
Yeah.
And I think it'd be a good incentive to have those people, give them that little bit extra on the weekend, get off at lunchtime.
Mm-hmm.
They, like I said, we have good people. It's hard to keep them here sometimes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people ain't gonna get off on Friday, they go to another job, but that would be an incentive for them to stay with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you put that training into a person, as you know, it costs money, doesn't it, Johnny? Enjoy it. Big money. So it is a situation that I agree with.
Okay. Anybody else?
I think it's a good incentive for them as well. They work hard, and I think having that extra time off they can spend with family and friends and do whatever they want to do, I think it's good. We do have good workers, and so I called you and told you about, no, that was someone else I called and told about an act that they had performed out of the realm of their duty, but it happened. So I think that it's good. I'm on board for it.
Anybody else? Nope. Any negative comments? What about from the citizens? Y'all see a problem? I mean, because I want everybody to be on board with this. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm proud of our guys. Look, now I'm not saying we don't get behind the door sometime or something. There's issues, there's individual issues or things that we have to address. There are, but we handle them and we keep on doing it. In our town, I'm so proud of the town, the leadership in it, the help, the citizens, and all the different civic organizations and all the different businesses that people invest in our town. And we want to set the table for the future, for this town to prosper and grow. And we're going to continue to do that. And so thank you all. So is it?
I personally think that would be wonderful for our workers because I know the utilities, the electrical guys, I watch them every year putting up and taking down my Christmas tree in front of the house. And when we first opened up the bakery, it took them about 4 or 5 days to get it up. And now it's up in 2 days and down in 2 days. And I appreciate y'all storing my tree for me.
Miss Lynn, Miss Cassandra?
They really deserve that.
Yeah.
I think that would be something kind of unique for town workers to be able,
Yeah.
for our town workers to be able to receive something like that.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea because I just want to say during the Christmas holiday season, beautification this year, several of our members were out sick and unable to help us do everything we need to do at that old courthouse and around the city. And city employees pitched in to help make it happen. That courthouse was absolutely gorgeous. It was because of the bucket trucks and the guys coming in and helping us put, we had 3.5 functional beautification employees. Everybody from the city came in to make sure that we were able to do what the city of David deserved. And that's what pretty. And they did that. But I would like to thank you.
Thank you all for the kind words. And I'm sure our employees thank you for that. Doug?
So, Mayor, on behalf of Portland Ministries from time to time, we have had interaction with the police department and with the fire department. And they step up, well, each time they're asked up to support us. And it's no small consideration that the department getting to lead the police department, consideration is their low combat level. We appreciate what they do to their employees.
Thank you, Doug. All right. So I'm on behalf of the employees, I'm sure they will enjoy that.
We thank y'all.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Don't be in front of the door at 12 o'clock. The exit door, you might get run over. Okay, that is all we have on our agenda. And I hear a motion we adjourn.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Alderwoman Demi. Here a second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Betts. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We stand adjourned.